The movie starts with two different people beginning their day. Liliana, a successful, organized executive, wakes up in her well-designed luxury apartment. She goes for a run, wears expensive clothes, eats her all-vegetarian breakfast, and arrives at work with her super expensive car while everyone loves and admires her. On the other hand, Roberto, known by his co-workers as Pesty, is messy, unorganized, and a drunkard. He doesn't even have time to iron his clothes. He doesn't shower or eat a healthy diet. Rather, he eats an unhealthy amount of fat. He lives in a small house in the ghetto. Liliana and her assistant Martha, who is also her best friend, go over her schedule today and plan how they're going to execute Liliana's lifelong dream tonight. Liliana has a major crush on Camilo, who is a handsome co-worker in their office.
Nos vemos más tarde.
Pesty is late as usual, so he rushes to the office while having unpleasant interactions with his co-workers, who are sick of his reckless behavior. Liliana and Martha cheerfully greeted Camilo, excited about what tonight may bring, because Liliana has finally decided to confess her feelings for him.
Esta noche es muy importante, no puede salir nada mal.
They also run into Pesty while he rushes to his office, but they are rather unenthusiastic about seeing him. They approach him with complete disgust.
Oye, linda, te deseo un hermoso día.
Por favor, chao.
The day goes on and Liliana presents her work in front of everyone. After work, there is a Christmas party held at the office. Liliana gets ready for tonight, making sure she looks her best while confessing her love to her dream man. She chooses several outfits and hairstyles in order to look perfect for tonight.
¿Martica, ya empezó a llegar la gente? Ya están llegando. ¿Usted cómo va?
Martha is already at the party, reporting back to Liliana and informing her when Camilo arrives so she can finally talk to him. Pesty tells his friend that he plans on getting married this year, and when his friend asks him if he has a woman in mind, he tells him he is interested in Lilian. And even though she seems distant and serious, deep down she's just shy, insecure, and also very lonely. Pesty tells his friend that he plans on making a move on Liliana tonight. Liliana arrives at the party, making heads turn, while Pesty gets drunk at the party and falls on the floor. Pesty then confesses his love for Liliana, but his friend drags him out of there. It is finally time for Liliana to have a conversation with Camille, but as she is about to go over to him, another woman arrives and kisses him. Pesty fights with his co-worker, and his friend asks him to go home, but he refuses. The woman finally leaves, and Liliana starts walking towards Camilo when she bumps into Pesty. She tells him that Martha is head over heels for him and that she should talk to her because she has been asking for him. Surprised by the news, Pesty goes over to Martha to ask her about her feelings for him. Now that she has successfully gotten rid of Pesty, Liliana walks to Camilo, but the woman reappears before Camilo can see her. Pesty tells Martha that he sadly has to break her heart because his heart belongs to another woman and that he can't be with her. Instead, he asks her to help him get with Liliana. Martha dismisses his conversation and goes over to Liliana to ask her why she's not with Camilo, but Liliana tells her what happened and how Pesty sabotaged her plan. Liliana then sends Martha to distract the woman and take her away for a minute. Liliana finally got her chance to walk up to him, but before she could reach him, Pesty bumped into her again and started telling her how he felt about her. Liliana drags Pesty to the bathroom and starts shouting at him, saying the only way they can be together is if he were the last man on earth. Liliana locks him inside the bathroom and goes out to ask Martha if the woman has left. But Martha tells her that it's too late and that Camilo has left with the woman. Liliana gets drunk to endure the pain of her dream man leaving with another woman. In the morning, she wakes up hungover inside the office with no one there. She rushes back home, but the streets are deserted and no one is walking and no cars are moving. She gets inside her apartment and calls out for people, but no one is there. It is as if the world has been wiped out and she was left alone. The TV isn't working, nor is the internet. She roams the streets, but there's no one there. She gets to a supermarket hoping to find someone. The supermarket is empty, but then she hears a tinkling sound of bottles coming from the corner. When she goes over there to see what it was, she sees Pesty sitting on the floor, drinking several bottles of alcohol.
Hola. Mona.
Pesty looks glad to see her and tells her that she said the only way they can be together is if he's the last man on Earth, and now he is. Liliana rushes back to her apartment and starts meditating, hoping to wake up from this nightmare soon. As she sits on a chair trying to calm herself down, there is a sudden knock at the door, and when she opens it, it is Pesty with all his stuff at her house. He is drunk and collapses at her door before he can get inside.
¿Qué le pasa? ¿Está bien? ¿Qué le pasa? No se vaya a morir.
Liliana gives him a drink and food to sober him, and he wakes up to realize it's not all a dream.
Vea, tómese eso.
Liliana asks him to help her with what happened. He agrees and starts washing his face inside the fish tank. Liliana gets irritated watching his reckless acts and walks away. They went outside, but they couldn't find anything or anyone. They return to Liliana's apartment, and Liliana is frustrated about the whole situation. Pesty tells her not to worry and suggests the idea of them repopulating the Earth. Pesty makes food full of fat and unhealthy ingredients. He tells Liliana that fat cheers you up, unlike her healthy vegan diet, which leaves people feeling sad and angry.
Mantiene a la gente separada una de otra. No les paran bolas, despachan a la
Pesty tells her they need the energy from the food because they have to repopulate the Earth very soon. Liliana makes it clear that she has no interest in being with him, and even if he is the last man on Earth, she refuses to be associated with him.
Así de verdad usted sea el último hombre sobre la tierra, no va.
She asks him to get his stuff and leave by the time she gets out of the shower. While she's in the shower, Pesty gets inside her bathroom and asks her if he can take a quick shower.
cuentas y hoy sí me toca baño. Entonces, si usted agiliza y sale rapidito, yo me quito el mugre.
After taking a shower, Pesty invites Liliana to have a drink with him. Liliana refuses at first, but then she accepts the drink from him and starts drinking. They get drunk after having several drinks and start having a conversation about themselves.
Ay, no. Mire,
Liliana tells him that night she sabotaged her plan to make Camilo her man. Pesty asks Liliana what Camilo has that he doesn't. Liliana mocks him and tells him that he is short and isn't exactly what she would call handsome. But Camilo is.
como 10 centímetros más de estatura y 40 menos de barriga.
Pesty tells her it doesn't matter what he looks like because at the end of the day, everyone is equally naked. At first, Liliana is brutally honest. She tells him flat out that she finds him unattractive and that even if she were drunk, she'd never sleep with him. The words hang in the air, sharp and cutting, and for a moment, it seems like the tension between them has finally snapped in the worst way. But somehow, things shift. The line between anger and attraction blurs, and before either of them can make sense of it, they're all over each other. Intensity replacing hesitation. To Liliana's surprise, he's nothing like she expected. The moment is raw and electric, leaving her breathless and confused by how good it feels, how natural it suddenly seems. But by morning, reality crashes back in. Regret floods her as soon as the light breaks through the window. Embarrassed and angry with herself, she tells him to leave immediately. No explanations, no softness, just a cold goodbye.
Sí, sí.
Chu, chu.
Sí, 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 ya.
He leaves quietly and she stands alone in the silence he leaves behind. But as the minutes pass, so does her certainty. The regret deepens, not just for what happened, but for pushing him away so quickly. In a rush of conflicted emotion, she opens the door again and lets him back in, unsure of what happens next, only knowing she's not ready to let him go. Weeks later, Liliana cooks breakfast full of fat, and they eat together. They start living together, and they are happy. They have fun together going to the supermarket without having to worry about working. They make love and they drink. Surprisingly, they are getting along very well. One day the doorbell rings, and when Liliana opens, Martha is at her door. She gets inside and tells her about waking up alone and not being able to remember her address, but it finally came to her, and she rushed here. Martha is excited that they're not all alone and that they have each other's company. She then hears a man's voice coming from upstairs. When Martha sees that it's Pesty standing with Liliana, her eyes widen in surprise. She immediately starts asking what he's doing there and what's going on.
¿El qué hace aquí?
Sensing it's not a conversation for the middle of the party, Liliana pulls her outside for a quick chat. Once they're alone, Liliana tells her everything, that she's in love and that she and Pesty are together now. Martha is shocked and asks why she's with him, struggling to understand how it happened. Liliana just smiles and says she's genuinely happy. She tells her that being with Pesty feels right, that there's a deep connection between them, and that their intimacy makes her feel seen, understood, and fulfilled in a way she didn't expect.
Enamorada de pequeña.
Martha may still be surprised, but Liliana's certainty leaves little room for doubt. The next day, Martha starts showing interest in Pesty and gets too friendly with him. She prepares him food and spends most of her time with him. During the night, they start seeing each other and making love while Liliana sleeps alone. Liliana doesn't say anything but sets a trap to catch them red-handed. When she goes out for her daily run, Pesty and Martha go to the bedroom to make love, but Liliana returns to catch them and heads to the bedroom, where she catches them doing it.
Ustedes son un par de traidores. Nunca me lo esperé de usted.
She screams at both of them for betraying her and gets mad at them for disrespecting her and doing it on her bed. Liliana tells Martha that both of them should pack their things and leave for their place where they can do whatever they want. When Liliana confronts Pesty, he tells her that he loves both of them and that he wishes to pursue both of their relationships. Liliana leaves the house and stops by her office while going for a run. She then found something unexpected.
¿Camilo?
Camilo is alive, and he explains to her what happened. He tells her that that night nothing happened with the woman and that he was looking for her, hoping something might happen between them. Liliana tells him it's not too late, and they kiss. Liliana brings him to her house and tells Martha and Pesty to leave since she needs privacy to be with Camilo. Liliana warns Martha and Pesty to never mention to Camilo what happened in the apartment before he gets here. Liliana and Camilo get to her bedroom and make love, but it lasts a few minutes, leaving Liliana unsatisfied.
Casi me matas.
Meanwhile, Pesty and Martha are in the other room screaming in pleasure all night. Camilo wakes Liliana up in the morning and tells her he will talk to Pesty about leaving the apartment along with Martha because they have no sense of boundaries. Liliana and Camilo start spending time together, but it isn't what Liliana hoped it would be. It was boring, and she wasn't really satisfied in bed. She started envying Pesty and Martha. One night, Camilo and Pesty come home drunk, and Liliana is mad at Pesty for getting Camilo drunk and reckless like him. Liliana is tired of living with the man, so she asks them to leave in the morning. They finally left, and Ved, Liliana, and Camilo have the house all to themselves.
¿Se puede quedar con la chaqueta, mami?
¿En serio, mami? Ay, gracias.
Liliana is disappointed by Camilo's performance in bed. He is also insensitive, and they live a boring life. He cares about his skincare more than hers and forces her to eat healthy food without any fat. He doesn't reconsider her ideas and leaves her feeling lonely all the time.
¿Usted fue casi una maratón?
know you can tell. Me brujita. When she walk by, they feel inadequate. Mocha coffee.
Lillian starts to reminisce about her time together with Pesty and eventually runs to him in the supermarket. They have a conversation and decide to spend New Year's Eve together, along with Martha and Camilo. Liliana and Camilo organize a dinner at their place and invite Martha and Camilo.
Uy, gringo, aquí hay tamales, hay buñuelos, hay natilla, cosas.
After the party takes place, Pesty says he has to leave because he has decided to travel all over Europe this year. Before he leaves, Liliana offers to help him with his luggage, and they go outside. When they're finally alone, Pesty tells her that he is running away from Martha and his life with her. He tells her that he wants to start a new life without Martha because he doesn't want to be with her anymore. When Liliana asks him why he just doesn't tell her instead of running away like a criminal, Pesty tells her that he has told her several times, but she won't get it. She wants them to be together all the time. He wants to let go and break up, but she won't let him. Pesty then tells Liliana that he couldn't stop thinking about her since leaving the apartment. He tells her that he cherishes all the good times they had together. They were having fun and laughing all the time. They were happy together. He adds that he has never been as sincere in his life as he has with her. He then tells her that he is in love with her. Liliana listens to his words without knowing how to reply, and Pesty finally asks her to run away with him and leave everything behind.
Camine conmigo. Vámonos.
¿Qué?
Liliana tells him that it's a crazy idea and asks him where they would even go. Pesty tells her that since the world is empty, they can go wherever they want. She tells him that she didn't pack anything, but he reassures her that they can take whatever they want from any store. Liliana is still hesitant and asks him what will happen to Martha and Camilo if they just leave them hanging. Pesty tells her not to worry about them since they have each other's company. Liliana refuses to leave at first, holding back even as everything in her heart pulls her toward him. Pesty turns to walk away, and they exchange a quiet, emotional goodbye, one that feels final. But as he disappears into the crowd, something shifts. She hesitates, then turns around and walks up to him, her steps quickening with urgency.
Esto es una locura. Pero me voy a ir con usted.
She tells him this is all crazy, that none of it makes sense, but she can't let go of what they share. She doesn't want to lose something so rare and real. Without another thought, she chooses to go with him. Together, they run off into the unknown, not knowing what the future holds, only certain that they want to face it side by side. In the morning, Liliana wakes up in her apartment and spends a regular day, just like she used to before everything happened. She goes for her daily run, and she eats her all-vegan breakfast. Goes to her office, where Martha tells her that she has a meeting in the morning and reminds her of the office party in the afternoon. Martha is excited for tonight because they have planned for this night for so long, and Liliana finally gets to confess her love for Camilo. Liliana realizes that it was all a dream and that she's been given one more chance to make her love life right. Liliana runs into Pesty at the party, and to everyone's surprise, he finally confesses his feelings for her, a moment long overdue and completely unexpected. To the astonishment of those watching, and perhaps even to herself, Liliana accepts his request without hesitation. She doesn't shy away or dismiss him. Instead, she takes his hand and asks him to leave the office with her, symbolizing a new beginning far removed from the familiar confines of their professional lives. Their departure marks a striking contrast to the usual dynamics at work, where hierarchy, routine, and formality dictated every interaction. Now they were stepping into something entirely different, a chapter shaped by choice, vulnerability, and hope. The sight of the two of them together, so different in temperament and background, leaving side by side, left the rest of the room in stunned silence. No one had anticipated this union, and yet there was something undeniably beautiful about it. The once invisible bond between them was now illuminated as they walked away from the party into a future that belonged to them alone.